Hello, everybody. How are you today? How was your weekend? I hope everything was fine. Well, my name is Edgar Ismael Camacho Montenegro. I am a holder of the Bachelor of Arts in English and the Master's degree in Education. And today I'm going to present you a class for my project, okay? So, as you can see, what we are projecting, uh, important topic that is very common in our everyday life. We are going to learn how to infer or how to deduce. Can you see? What do you think that we are going to talk? What the scenarios are we going to talk about? For example, here we have a detective. Can you see? What does a detective do? Can you tell me? Okay, the detective speculates, guesses, deduces, right? So, but what about us? Do you make deductions or speculations in your everyday life? Certainly, right? But for example, when do we speculate or why do we guess? In this case, we have different scenarios for our everyday lives. Can you see? For example, when we bet, what do we do when we bet? We speculate about the final result of a sport or another event, right? Another common speculation that we do is about the weather, right? What is the weather like in your country, in your city? For example, here in Guadalajara, the weather is pretty hot, right? Sometimes it's rainy. It's a crazy weather, let's say. Uh-huh. Another scenario that when we speculate or when we guess is about the future, right? We speculate about the future, about, for example, our future life after you finish your you get married, whether or not you will have kids, etc. Right? Or your next vacations. That's something that's pretty common, right? It's something that we are waiting for, right? We are waiting for December to rest and relax for everything, especially for English, right? Okay, so as you can see here, we have different situations. And a common situation that we have every day is about the World Cup. Who do you think that will win the World Cup? Well, Mexico. Any idea about that? Yeah, I agree. We don't have any chances, right? Well, that's the way it is. We will get back the next World Cup. Okay, now let's continue about this. As we were talking about, something that is very common to speculate is about the weather, right? We speculate about the weather because it's something that is not. We don't have the same weather every day, right? It's very depends on the city, right? In some countries, the weather is pretty hot. In some other countries, the weather is pretty cold. We have a mixture of weather, right? We have a crazy weather, for example, here in Mexico. And here we have a little scenario. We have this image. What is the weather like? For example, today, the weather is cloudy, right? We didn't have any sun. But what about tomorrow? Do you have any idea about the weather about tomorrow? Any idea? It'll be sunny, foggy, rainy, pretty hot, pretty cold, right? Or cool. Cool, no, it's not that hot, not that cold, etc. As you can see on that picture, we have rainy weather and we have sunny weather. What about that? Can we have sunny weather tomorrow? Can we have rainy weather tomorrow? We don't know. We don't know, right? We don't have the foggiest idea about that. So what do? We know that weather. Now, when we are making speculations or when we are making some conclusions, we have to take into account some scenarios. Mhm. For example, when there's certainty, what do I mean with that? Because it's sure. Why is it sure? Because it's based on facts or evidence, right? For example, what about the beach? What is the most common weather on the beach? It's pretty hot, right? Now, there's another things. When we guess, is because we have different options, we have different possibilities, right? And finally, we can talk about when something is impossible. Why? Because it's not true, it's not likely to happen. Why? Because it's a fact. So, as you can see, the speculation and the conclusion depend on these kind of scenarios. Now, what do we do in English in guessings or deductions? Well, here I have something for you talking about average. For instance, when something is 100% sure, we use the modal verb must as a deduction, as a speculation. Now, we have 50% of probability because we have possibilities. What does that mean? We have several options. So in this case, we can use the modal verb could, may, or might. Remember, might is the lowest possibility in a situation. And finally, something that is impossible. For when we talk about that, we use the modal verb can't. What about if I tell you, okay, what about Mexico winning the World Cup? It can be. Why? Because we have been playing really bad, right? Well, let's not cry. Let's not cry. So as you can see, the average of the deductions give us a result with when something is 100% sure because we have evidence, because it's a fact. 50% when we talk about possibilities or options, we use could, may, or might. And when something is impossible, we use can't. Can you see? And so far, so good. Any question about this? No? No questions? Okay. So everybody will get A plus, right? So that might be possible. Okay, now let's continue. So just to sum up, when we talk about we use must. Possibilities, may, might, and could. And when something is impossible, we use can't, right? Now let's talk about an example. Let's set a situation. For example, it says, someone is crying. Like we Mexicans, because we lost against Argentina, right? We are crying a lot. But in this case, we have a lady. It says, she seems to be down in the mouth, like a baby. This idiom, down in the mouth, means that. Uh-huh. So when you see a person who is really sad, what are the possibilities? We don't know, right? So what do? We speculate. So here we have an instance. She must have a problem. So that's a fact, right? She's crying a lot. She looks so sad. She feels blue. Uh-huh. So she must have a problem. And what is the problem? We don't know. What do you think that the problem? In this case, we have to use the modal verb code. Can you see? Why? Because we have several options. Perhaps she could have problems with her boyfriend. She could have problems at the university. She could have uh, problems with money, etc. And when something is impossible, remember that we use can't. What is can't for? Something that is unlikely to happen. In this case, it says she can be happy. Why? Because she looks so high a lot. So she has a sad face. She feels blue. So that's impossible. It's impossible for her to be happy, right? So let's continue. So far, so good here? No? Okay. Now let's carry on. Now, in order to reinforce this topic, I will show you a video, okay? On this video, we are going to check some explanation about this topic, and we will have more examples about this. At the end of the video, if you have any question, we can check. So please give me a minute. I will change my screen, and I will show you. Okay, here we go. Can we see my image? Can you see my image? Sorry. Okay, let's check this out.
Today we're going to talk about making present with must, have to, have got to, may, might, could, and can't. What's this? It might be a cup of water. Can't be water. It smells sweet. Couldn't be juice. It's too clear. Could be a soft drink. I wonder who it belongs to. It must belong to Jackie. She was here earlier. Make guesses about situations. We come to conclusions. We often use modals or similar expressions to express certainty about our conclusions. For example, it might be water. It could be a soft drink. It can't be juice. It must belong to Jackie. If we feel very certain about our conclusions and think something is probable, we use must, have to, or have got to. For example, you must be tired. You were probably tired. Claire hasn't eaten all day. She has to be hungry by now. She is probably hungry by now. Mark said his astrophysics class is easy. He's got to be joking. He's probably joking. When you are completely certain about something, use the simple present. For example, Jean is a student at New York University. She studies finance. If we are less certain about our conclusions, but we think something is possible, we use may, might, or could. For example, James isn't in class today, and I don't know for sure where he is. These are my guesses. He may have another appointment. He could be sick. He might be sleeping. For negative conclusions, we use can't or couldn't if we are almost 100% certain that something is impossible. Sophia can't be in Mexico. I just saw her an hour ago. I'm almost certain that Sophia isn't in Mexico. Or, Rachel couldn't be Pam's sister. Rachel is an only child. It's impossible that Rachel is Pam's sister. We use must not if we feel very certain, but not 100% certain that something is not true. Alex didn't touch anything on his plate. He must not be hungry. He's probably not hungry. Be careful. Do not use the contraction mustn't for a conclusion about a present situation. Say, Allie must not be at home. Not, if we are not very certain about a present situation, we use may not or might not. Sarah isn't at the meeting. She may not know about it. It's possible that she doesn't know about it. Or, party. She might not feel well. It's possible that she doesn't feel well. For questions, use can and could. For example, I don't know what is in this cup. What could it be? Or, I haven't seen Jackie all day. Where can she be? For yes-no questions, we can answer with a modal alone. For example, does Jackie still live in downtown San Francisco? No. In questions with the be verb, include be in the short answer. For example, is Jackie home today? I don't know. She could be. We've spent a lot of time discussing conclusions. You must understand this lesson very well, right?
Okay, how was it? I hope that this video has improved your knowledge about this topic. Okay, so thank you very much for your time, teachers. See you around. Thank you.